Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really unravel those complex topics and pull out the insights that matter. Today, we're tackling something that honestly keeps a lot of independent hoteliers, GMs, revenue managers, and owners awake at night. It's that constant challenge, finding the perfect price, that elusive just right rate for every single room, every single night. For way too many people in the industry, this really critical decision feels less like a strategy and, well, more like a bit of a guessing game, wouldn't you
Oh,
say?
absolutely. A
What?
high-stakes guessing game,
Uh-huh.
often.
Exactly. You know the routine. Maybe it's a gut feeling, maybe a quick look at what the hotel down the street is doing. Or perhaps you're pulling up some old spreadsheets that haven't really been updated properly in months. And then there are those, frantic last minute price changes where you just feel like you're constantly playing defense. But here's the thing, this sort of quiet truth. Relying on these methods, even when you're trying your best, means you're likely leaving a serious chunk of potential revenue on the table. We're talking maybe 20, even 30%, just gone. Revenue you could have had, but it's just not hitting your bottom line. So, our mission today is to explore how AI revenue tools are fundamentally changing this picture. Specifically, how Amplify works together with your existing roommaster system, the goal. To transform pricing from, well, guesswork into actual measurable growth. We want to show you how to turn the data you already have into action, making smarter, faster pricing decisions.
You've really nailed the core challenge there. That difficulty, the risk involved in the manual pricing methods people are using now, it's incredibly real. But what often gets missed, I think, is why this problem sticks around, especially for independent hoteliers. You see, you're likely sitting on an absolute goldmine of historical data right there in your room master system. I mean, everything past bookings, stay patterns, cancellation details, lead time behavior, it's all in there. But the critical missing piece, it isn't the data itself. It's the sheer human bandwidth needed to actually sit down and analyze all of that, day after day, across all the different variables. Just think about it for a second. Do you personally have the hours every single day to dig through all that data and then cross-reference it with local events, competitor moves, future demand forecasts? It's a huge task. Can you honestly say hand on heart that every gut decision you make is the absolute best one for your revenue? It kind of raises a big question, doesn't it? In a world where we're using AI for instant, accurate answers for so many other things, why are we still leaving our most critical pricing decisions to these manual, often reactive processes? That's what you like to call the smart shift. It's about leveraging the intelligence that's already available to you.
That's a really great point about the bandwidth issue. It makes total sense. The promise of AI sounds huge, but I get that for some hoteliers, the term AI might still feel a bit vague, maybe even a little intimidating. How do you bridge that gap for someone who's maybe more used to a very hands-on approach?
Yeah, that's a fair question. And that's exactly where this idea of an AI co-pilot comes into play. Look, we're not talking about replacing people or human expertise here. Not at all. It's about augmenting it, enhancing what you already do. The aim isn't just to automate things away. It's really to democratize sophisticated revenue management, make it accessible. Imagine having an expert analyst working for you 24/7, someone who never needs a coffee break. That's the kind of mindset shift we're talking about.
I like that framing democratizing revenue intelligence. It makes it much less scary. And that leads us perfectly to the solution we're focusing on today, Amplify. When we think about what Amplify actually does, I want you to picture something like ChatGPT, but specifically for your hotel's pricing. It's that intuitive, potentially that powerful, and frankly, it could be that revolutionary for your business.
That's a great analogy.
So what does that mean practically? It means Amplify takes essentially everything your room assessor system already knows, every booking, guest behavior, historical data point, and it analyzes those patterns incredibly quickly. But it doesn't stop there. It also factors in things happening right now, competitor price shifts, local events coming up, broader demand signals in the market. Based on all that connected information, it translates it into smart, real-time rate decisions. We're talking about pricing updates that are precisely optimized for your specific property, delivered exactly when they're needed most. And here's a really critical point. There's no massive setup involved, no steep learning curve for your team. It's just about getting smarter, faster pricing that genuinely works to boost your revenue.
Yeah, building on that ChatGPT comparison, it really is about making sophisticated revenue intelligence accessible. Just like ChatGPT gives us information that might otherwise take hours of research, Amplify makes advanced forecasting and dynamic pricing readily available to every independent hotelier. It automates what is normally an incredibly complex, very time-consuming process. It takes all that raw data, that rich information you already have sitting right there in Room Master, and it transforms it into daily, actionable decisions, decisions that actively grow your revenue. And importantly, it does this without adding any extra workload to your already very busy team. It really is about working smarter, not just harder.
That visibility piece sounds absolutely crucial. I sometimes think of it using a rooftop analogy. Without a tool like Amplify, pricing can feel like you're sort of locked in a room. You can only see your own bookings, your own calendar, just your own four walls, right?
Very internal view.
Exactly. You're reacting only to what's happening inside your property. But with Amplify, it's like suddenly getting access to the rooftop. All at once, you can see the entire neighborhood, what events are happening, how competitors are pricing, broader demand trends, even those little micro-seasonal shifts. It genuinely gives you the power to react proactively. It lets you grab opportunities or maybe head off challenges before they fully hit you.
That comprehensive visibility Amplify provides is precisely what enables that vital shift, moving from purely reactive pricing to being truly proactive. You're no longer just responding to a dip or a surge after it's happened. You're actually seeing it coming, often days, maybe even weeks ahead of time. So you can adjust your rates intelligently to capture a high demand period you might have otherwise missed, or maybe strategically lower them just a bit to stimulate bookings during a predicted quiet spell. It's really about optimizing every single opportunity and making sure your pricing is constantly in tune with the market's real rhythm.
Okay, so we've painted this picture of the smart shift and how Amplify acts like the AI co-pilot. That sounds great in theory, but for hoteliers listening, the big question is always practical: integration. How easy is it really to get this system up and running and working smoothly with their existing roommaster system? Because let's be honest, the very last thing any busy hotelier needs is more complexity added to their day.
That's a fundamental question, absolutely. And it's actually an area where Amplify truly excels. The integration with Roommaster is designed to be, well, remarkably straightforward.
Right.
Seriously, we're talking about a connection process that typically takes about 5 minutes to link up with your existing Roommaster system. That's literally it. 5 minutes. There's no complex IT project, no months of implementation. Once it's connected, Amplify immediately starts activating your data. It securely reads and processes all your property's past performance, future bookings, everything it needs to understand your hotel's unique operations and demand patterns. Then, in real time, its AI engine is continuously analyzing that data 24/7. Based on that analysis, it can either suggest optimal pricing updates for you to review, or, if you prefer, it can automatically apply those updates across all your channels, your website, OTAs, GDS, wherever you sell. And this is really key. There's no extra complexity forced onto your team's daily routine. You're not dealing with duplicate data entry. You're not constantly switching between different screens. There's absolutely no need to retrain your entire team on some brand new, complicated system. The core message is simple but powerful. You already have the data sitting in Roommaster. Amplify just turns that data into action without disrupting how you already work.
Okay, that sounds impressively seamless. But what about the bottom line, the real-world impact? Can you share maybe a couple of tangible examples where Amplify has actually made a measurable difference for a hotel? Because, numbers often speak loudest.
Absolutely. We've seen some really significant transformations. Let me give you one specific example. There was a hotel that was consistently struggling with their midweek occupancy. Their team was doing their best, making manual adjustments here and there, but it always felt like they were fighting an uphill battle, constantly reacting too late. Amplify, using its early detection capabilities, identified a clear pacing gap for those specific midweek stays. That means their current bookings just weren't keeping pace with historical trends or the expected demand for those future dates.
Ah, so it spotted the problem early.
Exactly. Instead of waiting until the last minute when it's much harder to influence things, Amplify dynamically adjusted the pricing for those dates weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Just subtle tweaks to stimulate demand earlier. The result: they recovered a really significant amount of midweek revenue that honestly would almost certainly have been missed otherwise, simply because the AI spotted the opportunity and acted on it far faster than any human possibly could have.
That makes sense. Catching it early changes the game.
It really does. Here's another scenario we see quite often. We had a hotel in a market that frequently experienced these sudden last-minute demand spikes, maybe due to unforeseen local events like a conference overflowing or even just unexpectedly great weather driving weekend trips.
Right, those unpredictable surges.
Yeah, precisely. Before Amplify, by the time the team actually realized the spike was happening and manually updated their rates across all channels, they'd already missed out on the highest yield bookings. The early birds got the lower rates. Amplify, because it's continuously monitoring local indicators and real-time search patterns online, identified these emerging demand surges much, much earlier. It then automatically pushed optimized higher rates out to all the booking channels almost instantly. This ensured the hotel captured the true value of that sudden demand, not just the tail end of it. This isn't about guesswork anymore, it's about precision. It's constantly evaluating market conditions, keeping an eye on your competitive set, and adjusting pricing automatically. It adapts faster than any human team possibly could. This means you essentially never miss the moment to optimize your rates, whether it's for an unexpected event that spikes demand upwards, or maybe a sudden dip that requires a quick strategic adjustment downwards. It keeps your pricing perfectly aligned with market realities all the time.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe a bit counterintuitive sometimes. The optimal price isn't always just the highest possible number, is it?
No, absolutely not.
Sometimes it's about the price that maximizes other things, maybe ancillary spend, or helps cultivate future guest loyalty, or even just fills a critical shoulder night that supports overall occupancy. How does Amplify factor in these more sort of nuanced considerations, and what specifically sets it apart from maybe other solutions people might have heard about? Because listeners might be thinking, okay, this sounds good, but I've seen other revenue tools.
That's a fantastic question, and it really gets to the heart of Amplify's core differentiation. You're right, other revenue management systems exist, but many of them were originally built for huge hotel chains, right? Applying kind of generic rules across vast portfolios. Amplify, on the other hand, was built specifically for independent hotels, and specifically for seamless integration with systems like Roommaster that independent hotels often use. This means its AI isn't just applying these broad, maybe enterprise-level rules. It actually learns from your specific hotel. It studies your unique booking patterns, your specific demand drivers, even the nuances of your local market environment.
So it's customized learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cheap, customized learning. And this allows it to go beyond just trying to max out the ADR for a single night. It considers the bigger picture, the impact on length of stay, the overall occupancy curve, and yes, even considering the potential for ancillary revenue down the line. And critically, you remain in control. First and foremost, it's about efficiency. You're getting much smarter pricing decisions without all the manual effort, without those hours spent digging through spreadsheets and constantly cross-referencing different data points.
Less grunt work.
Precisely. Which naturally leads to significant time savings. This allows your team to genuinely focus on core operations, on improving the guest experience, rather than being bogged down crunching numbers all day. What's also incredibly valuable, and we hear this a lot, is the newfound confidence in your pricing. You move from uncertainty to knowing your rates are aligned with actual real-time demand, not just a guess or blindly following a competitor.
That must reduce stress significantly.
Hugely. And the ultimate impact, of course, is financial. We consistently see higher average daily rates, ADR, and increased revenue per available room RevPAR, all achieved with significantly less stress for the team involved. Look, you know your market better than anyone. Amplify simply provides the tool to help you consistently stay ahead of it, ensuring every single pricing decision is optimized for growth.
So let's bring this all together. What does this really mean for you, our listener, particularly if you're already a Roommaster user? If you've been searching for that genuine competitive edge, that practical way to truly maximize your revenue potential, then Amplifier really could be the missing piece you've been looking for. It's the tool that takes your existing data, all that incredibly valuable information you're already collecting every day in Roommaster, and turns it into actionable, revenue-generating decisions. You literally already have everything you need to get started. It's sitting right there. It sounds like it's simply time to connect Amplify and just, let it put your data to work for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we really want you to see this transformation for yourself, to truly experience what that smart shift can do for your specific business. That's why we're offering your first month completely free, so you can directly see and measure how much more revenue you could potentially be earning. To activate your free trial and really start that journey from guesswork to growth, you can simply visit getamplify.com. Or, even easier, just speak directly to your dedicated Roommaster account manager. They know all about it and can help you get set up seamlessly.
That sounds like a great offer.
Yeah, we think it's the best way to see the value. And maybe just leave you with this final thought. Consider the cumulative impact. What happens when you make slightly better, optimized pricing decisions every single day, compounded over an entire year? Think about how much of that, that 20–30% left on the table's revenue could genuinely be transformed into substantial, tangible growth for your business. Growth that allows you to reinvest in your property, support your staff, and ultimately deliver a superior guest experience rather than spending all your time bogged down in spreadsheets. It's really an opportunity to fundamentally change how you operate and free up your focus for what truly matters most, your guests.